Hey everyone, thanks so much again for joining me. I have the great pleasure of chatting today with a good friend of mine, an entrepreneur, a fellow entrepreneur who I really admire, and that's Elizabeth Strauss with All Organized. And we're going to jump right in because I have a ton of questions. So thanks for joining me, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much for having me this morning, Astrid. It's such a great pleasure.
And we didn't even look, I love the way we're coordinated, and we didn't even plan that.
Little magic going on.
So tell everyone watching this video, this Facebook Live event, what exactly is All Organized and what do you do?
So All Organized is a really interesting company. We manage senior moves. And what that means is we help people when they're ready to make that transition from family home into senior community. And there's a lot of levels to it. So what I tell everybody is that we're an all-you-can-eat buffet of services where you're welcome to go a la carte. So what we do is we help people make a space plan of what they want to move into their new space so that they can move those items in with confidence, knowing that they're going to fit or not fit. And I can make advisements and say, hey, if we're putting this dresser here, that's only going to leave a 12-inch walk space for you. So here are some other options. We come in, we will physically pack you if you have some limited physical abilities or a limited desire to pack yourself, because not everybody is into that. We have in-house movers now, so we're able to load your items onto our moving truck, take them to your new place, get them unloaded, and then we completely unpack you. We are able to unpack every box, hang up art on your walls, put sheets on your bed, clothes in your closet, food in your pantry, get you completely set up in your new space. And I call it no box left behind, where we leave you with nothing left to unpack unless that's, you say, I just want it moved in and I'll unpack it myself. But that's in a nutshell what we're able to do for everybody.
And as your business has evolved, I just love that you just meet people where they're at and help them with whatever services they need. And we have done several transactions together, me representing the seller, getting the senior, get their home prepped and ready for sale. Can you, I want to talk just briefly. I think it's such an interesting story how you even came into this, because everyone's got a great story on how they developed their business. Can you share a little bit about that?
For sure. I was in the corporate world, and it was just not something that I felt passionate about walking into every day. I sat in a gray cubicle for 9 hours, and I just felt that there had to be something more to life. I've really always loved helping people, and I just wasn't getting to do that in a capacity in the corporate world. So I sat long and hard one day, and I thought about, what would I do if I won the lottery, if I no longer ever had to worry about money again, and I traveled everywhere I wanted to go, purchased everything that I ever wanted to buy? What would I do with the remaining hours of my life to feel fulfilled as a person? And it always came down to professional organizing. And I've always loved seniors. So I started a company called Be Organized, where I was strictly doing professional organizing, helping people get closets, pantries, garages, areas of the home that are really sticky and full of clutter, organized and set up in a way that worked for them. And we found that we could incorporate seniors into what we were doing and help them through this really big move, because we knew that a lot of seniors would go into community, put a deposit down, and then take the deposit back because they would go home and look around and just feel so overwhelmed about, what do I take? What do I do with all the things that I don't take? How do I get items to my family? How do I get this house that I've lived in for 35 years ready to be sold? There were just so many things, and it felt so overwhelming, and it was stopping the move process completely. So we came in and we started doing senior moves, and it has been just something we have loved from the very beginning, and we never want to ever not move seniors. We love it so much.
Gosh, I have so many questions, and they're all like running through my brain. So let me check my notes really quick. How do you counsel people who want to get, whether they're a senior or not, because I know you do just like me, we work with people in all walks of life, right? Mm-hmm. Not necessarily senior. We focus, I think both of us, our business is senior focused, but any advice for those who, again, while we have these stay-at-home orders and we're coming out of the pandemic slowly, to make good use of our time, for those wanting to declutter, what do you think are some of the biggest obstacles, and what do you recommend to get over those hurdles psychologically to just start the process of decluttering?
That's a really great question. So, a lot of times people struggle to let go because the item is brand new or they paid a lot of money for it. And it's hard to think of just letting something perfectly brand new or perfectly good leave the home. So, a lot of times, the real question is, how is this item still serving you? I'll ask, do you still enjoy this item? But a lot of times, the real question is this item you? Um, I see it so much with Amazon purchases because it's really easy to sit on your couch and let Prime just deliver things to you. And sometimes we get that item that we think was going to be so perfect that we ordered online in, and it's just not a good fit, and we don't take it back, and we miss the return date, and so it just sits there. And when we come across those items and we come across those things, we're like, well, it's perfectly brand new, or I bought all of these organizing supplies to get organized. And what I tell people about buying organizing supplies would be like me going down to like O'Reilly's and buying a bunch of auto mechanic things. It doesn't give me the knowledge or the ability to go and then fix my car. I'm just not quite savvy in that area. So really, as you're going through your items, as you're going through your home, ask yourself, does this still serve me in my current life? Or was this bought for a fantasy life, like a person that I wish that I was? Or was this bought for a past version of myself? You know, for a while I was really into crochet, so I bought a bunch of yarn. Like, am I still crocheting a bunch? And it's okay to let those items go. Our lives are so short, you know, retrospectively, when you are 88, 90 years old and you look back on your life, I don't think you're going to be glad that you held on to a bunch of clutter and you were miserable in your space. I think you will appreciate the times that you got to spend with your friends and family, and getting to enjoy your home, not having to stumble over the items that are in it.
So, for those folks watching this who are older, who are seniors, and thinking about starting the downsizing process, how do you counsel people, your clients who, I mean, they've been holding on to things that they were hoping to pass down to their children, or they have an extensive collection of a particular item? How do you help them through that process?
There's a couple ways. So first and foremost, if they've been holding on to it for their children, I start asking the tough questions like, you know, are you sure that your children want these items? And that's not to be offensive, because if the children do want the items, we either need to start scheduling a time, because here's the thing, when you don't have a schedule of things, that time volume gets filled up all day, right? So if you have meetings all day, it's easy to get things done in between meetings because you have those time blocks. If you're just waiting indefinitely for somebody to come pick something up, they're never going to come get it. So a lot of times it's easy to have the conversation of saying, okay, well, we're going to start your move process, you know, on the 20th of June. So we need to start telling people if they want to come get these items, they need to be picked up by the 10th, so that we have that 10-day window to really be in here working with you without those items in the way. Sometimes just setting a date for the children to come pick up items is the nicest thing and the most efficient way to get items out of the house. Then it also opens up the conversation of, well, they might not actually be interested in this. And then we can discuss the options of what we can do. You know, we can do an estate sale with those items. We can get it to the donation center of their choice. If they're really, you know, passionate about the Purple Heart charity, we can help them get those items there. And then sometimes we have to have the conversation of, you know, unfortunately, there's no value to this item, so here's how we can help you remove it from the home at low or no cost.
Well, that's what's the beauty of hiring a third-party company like you. There's you're the objective person. You don't have those attachments, and you're not related to any of the people involved. So that's another huge plus for hiring someone like you guys to come and help with that process, because you can ask the tough questions that maybe a son or daughter wouldn't be able to ask their parents. So I think that's something that can't be stated enough. I don't think people realize that that's a benefit. I think they just see the practical, but there's definitely that component of it that definitely is a benefit. There's a acronym that you guys like to use that I've shared in other videos, and anyone I talk to about decluttering, I'm like, you need to learn Ohio. So I know I'm kind of like, again, there's just you have so much great information, but I did want people to kind of get more information about, because I struggle with this, what Ohio stands for. that acronym. So I'll let you explain that.
Well, thank you. Ohio for us means only handle it once. And it is something that just helps you move with efficiency when you're having to make a lot of really big and really tough choices, especially in your senior move. So my favorite example of Ohio is, where's your best place to open your mail? Well, it's always over your recycle bin, right? Because you don't have to bring it into your home. You stand there over your recycle bin and you toss out all the junk. So you're already handling it just that one time. Same thing when you are going through the pieces in your house. If you know that you're moving into a 2-bedroom apartment from a 6 or 7-bedroom house, you're already going through kind of like eliminating the rooms in your home. And so if you know that the second bedroom is going to be an office or a guest room, you can already start eliminating that second guest bedroom, that kid's room. It's just allowing you to make that decision once and be done and be able to move on so that you can use your really good decision-making quality and what we call your mental bandwidth to make those better choices as you move through the rest of the house.
Yeah. Very nicely put. I like that. If someone wanted to find out more or get a quote on what it would cost them to get this process started, what's the best way for people to reach out to you?
The very best way for people to get a hold of us is call us at 281-460-6534. We live in a modern age, so you can call or text that number. You will speak with our wonderful admin. Her name is Rhonda. She's our operations manager. She's the glue that holds our company together. She'll schedule you a consultation at no cost, and that gives us the opportunity to come out and meet with you and send you a really accurate estimate for what any part of the move that you want done would cost. And then you're welcome to email us at info@allorganizedpro.com if you have further questions, want more information, however we can help you.
Thank you for sharing that. All that's on the screen for people to make note of. I did want to share too that because a lot of the work that I do involves with downsizing and decluttering, that for those it doesn't even have to be a senior, but anyone who hires me to list their home, they do receive a $500 credit to get the home ready for sale. And we have worked together in doing that and helping offset that cost. I think your fees are very reasonable, so people should definitely reach out to you, but that is a little added incentive to kind of help if money is an issue or it's keeping you from moving forward in this process. I definitely want to offer that to folks. Again, we could go on and on and on because you and your partner, Mary Anderson, who I want to give a shout out to, are just amazing. Any clients that I've referred to you guys, the feedback has always been stupendous, stellar. Highly recommend All Organized. So thanks for taking a few minutes this day to chat with me about what you do. I wanted to quickly say that next week, I hope you tune in again, because I'm going to be talking to another wonderful entrepreneur. You may know her, Elizabeth. Her name is Yasmin Lopez. She's the owner-operator of Touching Hearts at Home, and they provide non-medical services to folks at home. So again, I hope to be a resource through this program and just get the word out about wonderful companies that I know and trust, and hope that folks watching would also benefit from. And then finally, Elizabeth and I also wanted to say, if you're watching and you serve the senior community and you would like us to come speak to either your prospects or anyone who you think could benefit from our services, we are very pro-education and just want to share as much information so people can make the best decisions for themselves. So you can reach out to either Elizabeth or myself. My number is here. I will put that on the screen. You can reach me at that number. But again, thank you so much, Elizabeth. It was a real pleasure, and we will talk again soon.
Thank you so much for having me, Astrid. Always so nice to chat with you.
Thanks. Take care.
Thanks. Bye.